Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another zombie review. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time because this is not going to be a very good review. Honestly, I was really bored by this movie. It's really late, I'm getting tired, you could probably tell that I look tired. I was dozing off, I was responding to comments on Facebook and YouTube, texting back my girlfriend. I was in and out of this movie because I just wasn't engaged with it. And that is Nightmare City from 1980. Now, I know this movie has a fan base. I know my friend Hellhound over at Horror Metal, he really digs this movie. It is a bit of a cult film. This movie just wasn't for me. I was not into Nightmare City. In fact, I'll even say it's one of the worst zombie movies I've ever seen. Yeah, it was directed by Umberto Lenzi, who you think this guy would be able to make a zombie film. He's known for, he has a very big body of work, but he's known for he directed the first Italian cannibal movie, Man from Deep River. He also directed a Cannibal Ferox. So you think he'd be able to make a zombie movie. Which actually is kind of funny because it says one of the stars, his name is Hugo Stiglitz. Which it just makes me think of Inglourious Bastards when I hear that. Nightmare City is just a very goofy, which I don't even think it's trying to be goofy. I just think it's one of those movies that it's so bad, it just comes off as silly. It starts off with this guy who, he's a TV reporter, and he's supposed to be at the airport to interview this nuclear scientist. The plane comes in all funky. The military's there when the plane lands. You know, they're given a warning to come out, and these zombies come out. And the movie is pretty much, first zombies attack, security, military, and whoever that's there on the strip. They storm the airport. It's them just going to all these different places and attacking people throughout the city, even eventually even into the country. And you follow some characters, but like I said, I was dozing off. I was doing other things, so this isn't going to be a very great review. But I saw enough of it to know that I'm not a fan of it. The only characters other than like the military when we see them would be the guy, the reporter, and his girlfriend or wife. Because other people, it's them trying to listen to the radio, staying home, make sure everything's locked up, or them trying to leave. First off, I hate the look of the zombies. I think the makeup is terrible. It reminds me of, those two brothers on Ripley's Believe It or Not, like the werewolf boys, who have all that black fur. Imagine that, but imagine it looks like green, brown, red, like scabs and moss. But like the rest of their head looks fine. Like it's almost like moss. That's what it looks like, and I just think they're terrible looking. Like, first they storm the airport, and then their next stop is this TV studio where the guy works. He interrupts some broadcast of like 80s aerobics dancing in like bikinis. So when the zombies come in, they're like eating those girls. And it's weird because they don't really eat. They're more like, well, one, they kill with weapons. Knives, bayonets, tomahawks, axes, anything. There's one point where they even shoot, I don't know if it's like a harpoon gun or something. They stab when they're killing all those dancing girls at the TV studio, one even cuts her tit off. And just the way his hand is, you can tell it's like a latex thing that he's holding. And he cuts away just before her whole tit is revealed. Poor cheap effects. And whenever they eat, they just like bite on the neck and like suck a little. Like they act more like vampires. Like homicidal vampires. And I mean homicidal as in they kill with weapons. They storm gas stations, and none of it is really particularly interesting. The only interesting part was when they're trying to give an explanation on what happened and how to deal with them. Which you have high-ranking military and these scientists. And they're saying, apparently the nuclear scientist was exposed to radiation. He exposed it to the rest of the people on the plane, and so on. Yeah, they talk about like how fast they are. They only run when the script calls for it. I mean, they're not like 20 days later where they're always running. They're like whatever zombies. And I guess the radiation made it so they can't regenerate red blood cells, so that's why they feast for blood. In fact, there's this silly scene because where the reporter's wife or girlfriend works, she's a nurse at this hospital. They attack a hospital. And there's a part where these two zombies go into a room. One kills a doctor, and one looks over and he sees like, it's like a blood bag for an IV, but it's glass. And he's just like, stupid look on his face. He like drinks it like a little tiny soda. And yeah, I don't really have anything nice to say about this movie. Towards the end, I was kind of getting into it like, okay, something's gotta fucking happen. The ending, I thought, first I was like, okay, that's kind of cheap. Kind of interesting. Okay, this is stupid. It's like, oh, that was kind of neat. The reporter and his girlfriend, they make it to this fair, like a rundown Six Flags. And they're all the way at the top of this roller coaster, and he's like shooting zombies. A military helicopter comes by, and they drop a rope. So she grabs it, she starts climbing. It has knots in it, by the way. It's a single rope. He jumps on, he's underneath her. She lets go, she can't hold on, and I thought this was kind of cool. Because as she's falling, she hits all these rungs on the roller coaster. And then just as she hits the ground, he wakes up. It's a dream. He says, I just had a bad dream. Then he's like, I gotta go interview a nuclear scientist. And then it's the whole opening of the movie again. With the plane coming in kind of wonky. Given the warning by the military to come out. But just as the door opens, freeze frame, end credits. So it's just like, what's gonna happen? I didn't really see any kind of gore effects. Because like I said, they don't really tear people apart and eat them. They just like suck on their neck a little bit. But I did notice, well, I didn't notice throughout the film because again I was dozing off, but at the end when they're up on the roller coaster and he's shooting zombies, their heads getting blown, like it looks like a Fulci effects. Like where were those effects for the rest of the movie? Also, like, I don't think anyone comes out and calls them zombies. In fact, his girlfriend, they make it to a church, and she calls them vampires, which I can't blame her for how they're behaving. They're like, if they're vampires, they can't go into the house of the Lord. They go in there, the priest is a zombie. The music is kind of lame. There's one piece, like, there's like the opening credit music, which I guess is like the main theme. But like once in a while, like when the military scientists are talking about the zombies, it's like a slowed down, dark, ominous version of it. I like that piece of music. Then there's another piece when it's either when they're at the gas station or these girls are down in their cellar. Like the background part of the music, it sounds like the break music, like before and after a commercial break for like Mystery Science Theater 3000. I thought this movie was really lame. And Hellhound, if you see this, I'm sorry, but he did the zombie effects. I thought the whole movie was just kind of goofy. And not goofy in a way where they're trying, because it's a comedy. Which, if it is, then it went over my head, but yeah, I'm not into Nightmare City. But yeah, my allergies are bad and I'm kind of tired, so for Room 237, sorry that was a shitty review, but yeah, I don't like Nightmare City. So thank you for watching.